Welcome to Istanbul Aydın University Blockchain Academy Blockchain Talks. Today we have very interesting speaker. You should know Lupattelli LUCA. He is from HEXAGON Geosystems, and he is with us with an interesting topic today. He will talk us and share his experiences and knowledge on Metaverse and digital twin. So, first of all, welcome, and we are very honored to have you as our speaker today. And I would like to give the floor to you, Luca.
Well, thanks a lot. For me, it's a big honor and pleasure being here again, and thanks for the invite. Hope I can. What I'm going to share will be useful and interesting for the audience. So I'm going to quickly share my screen. Hope you can see it right now. Okay, can you see it?
We can see it.
Oh, perfect. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically drive you through the connection between those two topics. And what I'm going to go through is just a very short agenda here. Like, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me, a little bit about Hexagon for who doesn't know it. And then we go to the topic, and at the end, I will be sharing with you some technology involved, workflows, and some use cases and applications. So a little bit about me, and thanks for introducing me already. But yeah, I'm a digital project manager. I work at Hexagon in the Geosystem divisions, where I started in 2018. And to be honest, really jumping into this company was kind of the door for me into the immersive technology, digital twins, and all of things connected to it. Since then, I started studying. I was researching a lot of. I developed a lot of interest about the topic. So I started really getting into it. So I studied with Barton. I got a certification. Tried to really deep dive into the whole thing. A bit about Hexagon. So you already saw some of the technology during my first slide about me, but yeah, I have a short video to share. Hopefully you will see the sound, so you will see a little bit. So as you can imagine, we develop technology. So as you can see, we touch different industries. We are a global company, and we are in around 50 countries. We are around 25,000 employees, and we really invest into R&D for anything that regards digital twin, robotics, automations, artificial intelligence. And yeah, and that's basically our focus. It's the company is kind of old, especially if you look at LUCA Geosystem. We recently celebrated 200 years of innovation. LUCA Geosystem, which is part of the division of Geosystem, has been acquired kind of recently from Hexagon in 2005. And then, Hexagon is acquire other companies that are really focused on the visualization, sensors, digital twin, etc. And we recently, it's not in this slide, but recently also now the new division at Hexagon that is robotics, and that is where we are very focused, and we see a big future on that. Yeah, as I mentioned, at Hexagon there are different divisions. I'm in the global team of Geosystems, but as I mentioned, there are different areas that we touch, which is autonomous solution, manufacturing intelligence, robotics, asset lifecycle intelligence, and safety infrastructure and geospatial. So all of them basically are touching different industries, and as you can imagine, our focus is really everything that is touching the so-called industrial metaverse, in that sense, since we really are into the accuracy and the precision of our measurement of our scanners and sensors that are also used for autonomous solutions. Since I was touching, digital twins and sensors a little bit, let's just go through what the Metaverse is a little bit, and how, so you will get to know a bit how we touch it from our side, and how the digital twin technology would be involved into it. So the Metaverse basically is a term, probably some of you already heard many times about this, coming from the novel Snow Crash in 1992, and the meaning is basically beyond our universe. And after that term has been coined, and Meta changed, and Facebook changes the naming to Meta, many people started giving their own opinion about what the Metaverse is and what is not, and which technology is touching, and etc. But what I'm going to focus today is basically referring to two main definitions. One is coming from Forrester, that define the Metaverse as an umbrella term for a collection of different technologies, and basically what the industrial Metaverse is. That is referring to a digital space where the physical and virtual worlds converge into the context of industrial applications, which is where the digital twins are playing a very strong role from that perspective. And talking about this umbrella term, you can see we saw already in the past years that the term Metaverse was touching different aspects. So we have the industrial Metaverse, the enterprise Metaverse, and the consumer Metaverse. And all of those sector of applications, that are very different between each other. The very first one is really referring to factories, complex systems, smart cities, industry and manufacturing. The enterprise Metaverse instead is very focused on what is training and immersive corporate collaboration, etc. While the consumer Metaverse is referring to those digital worlds, immersive spaces that are all connected and are referring to shopping, gaming, socialization, and entertainment. All of those application and sectors are basically they base their fundament on top of many technologies, which are virtual reality, augmented reality, artificial intelligence, digital twins, blockchain, and so on. Depend by the application and by the use case of each project that is referring to each sector. And because of that, there are also many companies that have started getting together to understand and to define what are the how to develop interoperability between the different technology, because this is going to be very important, in the future for this to happen at some point. Indeed, the Metaverse Standard Forum was one of the forums that has been created back in the day, and there are already many working groups that are already developing use cases and having discussion about, you know, the technology stack of the metaverse and defining it from many point of view. Another alliance is the OpenUSD alliance. The USD is basically many refer to the USD to the HTML of the future. So this alliance has been created really to define and create a robust interoperability across tools, data, and workflows. Indeed, just referring to, for instance, to the Apple Vision Pro. Apple Vision Pro is very focused on the USD, and to the objects to be managed in that way. So, but there are also NVIDIA Omniverse that is really focused on USD. So we can see that, you know, this format is becoming very important to be understood, and it will be very important for the interoperability moving forward. And another association that has been created back in the day was the OMA3, that is referring to Web3 Metaverse platform, and even here there is really these discussions around interoperability between platform and digital objects, digital assets, etc. Very interesting is that there is a collaboration also between the Metaverse Standard Forum and the OMA3, since they became partner, and there are also exchanges between the two forums. If we put all of those into a timeline, we can see that in the past 3-4 years, many things happened. So we saw the Metaverse Standard Forum being created, OMA3 being created, the Open USD Alliance being created, but also we can see also on top here, many headsets are being released. And we are now waiting to understand what is going to happen when Samsung and Google will release, you know, the next Android headsets, and we will see also how the smart glasses will evolve moving forward. But there is a lot going on over there. And with that said, talking in general about the metaverse. Now I'm going to switch a little bit about the digital twin, just to create the connection. And you will see, because when we talk about the metaverse, there is a lot of use immersive spaces, collaboration, interoperability, and things like that. And the digital twin became a very important technology for specific applications. I was referring before about the industrial metaverse, and the industrial metaverse application. The digital twins are very important, and the digital twins in that specific form of application of the metaverse need to be accurate, need to respond to proper needs. Indeed, as you can see in this slide, you know, in the first point, digital twin is referred to be a precise digital representation of a real-world object, system, or process. It's not just an image or a model that has been manually created, but need to be exactly what you see outside, need to be potentially measurable virtually. And it's not just that. The digital twin need to be also a mix of data that allow people to simulate, to analyze, and monitoring what is happening in the real world. So it's not just a copy of something that is out there, but it's a mix of data. And the data, how data are captured through sensors, through devices, to sources that are kind of injecting information to those digital twins. And all of those information are empowered by the artificial intelligence that are giving even more information, and are giving also predictive analytics about what is going to happen if, for instance, if I'm going to build up something in a special part of the city, what is going to happen if a specific weather condition will happen in that city? Or what is going to happen if we are starting building something and changing the route of this highway? How the traffic is going to be? How it is going to impact the traffic and the economic impact also, because that's also another point. And we recently at Hexagon, we were running an analysis with some expert in the sector, and we also gained some important information from a recent digital twin industry report. And many of those experts give back very interesting data. Indeed, the use of the digital twin reported 49% of the organization improved their efficiency as a major benefit. Some of them, they also noticed the reduce of cost across industry between 19 and 24%, which is also very good, because when you can analyze first, you can stimulate something, then you can save costs as well. And the collaboration, as I mentioned before, when I was talking at the Metaverse, the collaboration is an important part, because 44% of digital twin users see increased collaboration, and this is really important, because people can touch or can see, can experience something that is going to happen eventually in the future. There is also an important point regarding the sustainability, because the use of digital twin has been reported as a reduction in carbon emissions, in average 15%. And also, as I was mentioning, economical benefit, ROI, 92% of the organization tracking ROI see returns above 10%. By using digital twins. Of course, here we are talking about very focused organization in manufacturing, construction, so referring really to the industrial metaverse. But those data are kind of very interesting from that standpoint. And what we can say from what is the potential issues that we are finding here? Of course, there are some challenges yet. So the digital twins are evolving, but we are still seeing some difficulty on data quality integration. There is organization are utilizing digital twins through phase adoption. Also, the AI integration, 80% of the leaders say that AI increases the interest in digital twin, and they need to still add some of the AI capabilities. And also, we are seeing a future growth on it. So there is requests, the demand is increasing, and but yeah, we are still seeing there are some gaps that will be probably compensated moving forward in the future. In any case, and this is where probably we touch, the metaverse and the digital twin altogether. The digital twin are the connector between the physical and the digital. So we are talking here about two words. I would say personally, probably it's the same word because both exist. You know, it's not something fake. What we have as a digital twin is an exact replica of what you get when you scan an area with the 3D laser scanner or with a TRK, but exists. So it's something that can be used for specific application. And yeah, and this is where we jump into how digital twins work in the metaverse. So I was referring a lot to the accuracy of the importance of the accuracy of the digital twin, and there is where the collaboration is coming with the metaverse, and that is where when we need to analyze a building like the one into this image, you can see, you know, this building that is a copy of the real one, you know, can be measurable in a virtual environment, so we can analyze the object and we can integrate it with a lot of sources of data, which allow multiple people to enter virtual spaces and see and experience them better than just in a flat screen, I would say. There are many key applications of this. I'm referring to manufacturing, healthcare, urban planning, education, entertainment. But there could be even more. So, but those are, for instance, in manufacturing, we already see some important use cases. We already see companies that are already using such technology in order to reduce downtime and to foster innovation. It's probably more likely that you won't see that much of complete use cases being shared into the web about industrial metaverse for manufacturing, because of course, you know, there are many things that are kind of industrial secret, and you know, companies like Mercedes, Volkswagen, or whatever, they don't want to share how their factories are built for building the most recent Audi. So this is something that you won't expect, but such companies are already really involved into this and are using this technology very indeed. Regarding healthcare, and I will show you later how we are approaching this also from that perspective. So the digital twin and the metaverse is already starting being connected and being used by doctors and specialists in the sector, because the technology become very reliable. So it's already possible to capture your face and analyze in deep how it looks for dermatologists, or it's possible to project in front of the face of a doctor, you know, all of the detail of your body, and operate in a very accurate manner. So there are already many use cases of doctor doing surgeries using the Vision Pro, which is very interesting. Urban planning. This is also another important area of application, because, as I mentioned before, we can simulate, the manager of the city, people working on the infrastructure of cities can simulate and can analyze everything that happens into a smart cities today.
Yeah.
Education. This is all the virtual reality application from that perspective, you know, can allow students to deep dive into something that is completely simulated and accurate. Yeah, I think those are just to refer to some really, and I was just catching some of those information from a paper that has been recently released about the role of the digital twin in the metaverse. And as you can see in this image, you know, the collaboration, the virtual reality for industry managers, and it's kind of very crucial. So this image that was appearing in the studies that I suggest everybody to have a look, which was very interesting. You know, it basically analyzed, it basically put together like different layers in order that to follow, in order to proper understand and put the hands in how the digital twins work within the metaverse. Of course, the 3D models are playing a very crucial role because they need to be accurate, they need to be reliable, and this is why, you know, there are some workflows that are kind of needed there, and tools that are kind of that require some specialty there. There are, again, some limitations and challenges, I would say. This also was coming from the study. You know, there is, again, when we need to use digital twins and the metaverse, you know, there are high initial costs because the technology could be costly according to what need to be done, and expertise is required. So there are still many steps that are needed in order to use properly this technology. It's complex. It's true, there are some complexity that, to be honest, even by myself, if I had to put myself on trying to understand some step, I have some struggle because there are special expertise required through the workflow that we will see later. Data privacy and security, this is another very, very important point. There are many discussions. Also, at the level of the Metaverse Standard Forum, there is a working group dedicated to this. Interoperability and scalability probably are very well connected, are very connected between the two of them. And again, I was mentioning before, those association and those groups that are kind of working together, trying to find proper ways for the interoperability between platform and objects. And this is very important because this will allow also to improve the scalability of the whole thing. Future direction. I think this is also very important because what is happening is we are moving forward and increased realism for what I see. You know, the digital twin need to be not just accurate, measurable, but need to be also beautiful. So, and this is where we go, having a digital twin that is better and better. Thanks also the artificial intelligence, we are going in that direction. So, broader adoption. Since we are moving forward, I expect some decrease of the costs and the more mature technology. This will allow more industries to integrate digital twins into their metaverse planning. Standardization, and this is a kind of term that is coming over and over again since we were talking about, you know, interoperability, forums, etc. You know, standardization is kind of very crucial. Like it happened, you know, when internet was born. You know, things need to be standardized, and this will happen also for digital twins and the metaverse. And then there are ethical considerations as well, because, you know, it's important to keep in mind that we are moving in a direction where, thanks to technology, we can achieve almost everything. We need to just understand if this everything is ethic or not. So and it's important, and also for the ethical consideration, there is also another working group into the Metaverse Standard Forum regarding this aspect that is analyzing, you know, all the ethics happening in immersive spaces, because it's important that we operate virtually, but we operate consciously, and we don't do unethical things inside of those spaces. That already happened, because when we operating in an ambient that is not fully regulated, you know, that such a things, you know, could happen, and it's important that the ethical consideration are taken care of properly. Okay, I was just going through the thing. I'd like briefly, I prepared one slide about the technology and work involved into digital twin creation, metaverse, and the workflow. This just to give you a better understanding. You know, when I say that there are many expertise that are required, you will see why. And yeah, this is basically a workflow, how we start and where we go, you know, when we talk about digital twins and the metaverse. You can see in the first, we basically divided the process and the workflow in four macro steps: capture, prepare, and manage, deliver, and visualize. In the first phase, basically, the job is done by sensors. So sensors capture like a building, a street, or an area that is needed for a specific application. Then we move to prepare, manage. So the what you got from the sensor basically need to be cleaned up and prepared in order to be moved into other platform. In those cases, you know, I was referring also to there are desktop and cloud applications that are kind of required here. Even here, there are some specialties. There are some professional requirements needed for that area in order to prepare properly the data set and moved over to the delivery phase. So when the data set that has been captured and has been prepared is moved over the delivery phase, there is where you basically create the immersive environment for a specific need. And in this case, for instance, the data set can be completed using different tools. Here I was referring also to Real Engine or Blender, and those are basically the final. It's basically the final step before you publish into the application, where you visualize then the experience. The experience that again could be referring to any of the metaverse application that I was referring before, could be industrial, could be enterprise or consumer metaverse, but yeah, you need the phase from deliver to visualize in order to move the experience from a place to another. Sometimes, for instance, when we talk about the consumer metaverse, you won't need all the time the capture phase or the prepare manage phase, but when we talk about digital twin and industrial metaverse, the use of sensors is kind of very, very important there, because the digital twin need to be accurate and precise. Okay, then I go straight into some of the use cases, and I will see also how the technology is basically used for some dedicated application. So in this first case, basically you will see a scanner. You know, this lady is handling a 3D scanner and is moving into this building And you can see in the left side, basically, or in the right side, what he's capturing with the scanner. So here is the whole point cloud of the area. The point cloud are all of those little points that are captured by the LiDAR of the scanner, and are giving back, you know, the exact digital twin of these buildings where the lady is scanning. And you can see how this is then captured. Then this capture need to be managed. So, and when you manage this whole thing, basically you will get a meshed asset that need to be prepared and finalized in order to then be delivered. So you can see this is basically a result from the BFK2Go, which is a 3D scanner that we developed. But yeah, you can see how this is different from a theater or a building, and you can really capture with a very high accuracy, you know, everywhere you go. And this is basically the first two phases that I was mentioning before in the workflow. Here I'm going to show you something very, very interesting. It's a very short video, but you can see how where the scanning technology is going, and we are already capable to capture the face expression for medical purposes.
Desire to exceed, seducing aura, precision, 3D imagery technology. With 3D digital twin and capture for instant facial analysis and visualization. Well, change the nature of the consultation, allowing the patient to practice the right new chapters together.
So basically, this technology today allow to, with a very short capture, to get the face of a person, and can be used for aesthetic industry to analyze and study, you know, the face of the people. So we are already capable to create digital twin of face expression. So let's imagine how this could evolve in the future. Another digital twin use case, reality capture and planning. Just think about this workflow that I was sharing before. You know, this is basically a factory that has been completely scanned. You can see the point clouds top left that has been segmented to the right, and then the mesh and the 3D model that has been created right after. You know, this is basically then being used for planning and simulation of factory. So we basically move from scanning to modeling, and then we could use potentially NVIDIA Omniverse to simulate the whole chain. And this is basically allow people to save money and time in order to understand if the planning has been done correctly, because we can do it virtually. Another thing that we do, I don't have many videos on that, but just for reference, we are also a technology partner of the Red Bull in Formula One. The Red Bull use our scanner in order to simulate and to capture data of the cars, and this is basically, this is just a rough estimate that around 20,000 updates to the car are done. 20,000 updates to the car are done per season, and those are done based on the data and the scanning that has been, and the modeling that is done on top of the car. So, and this is just another use case how we use the digital twin technology. Here, here an experiment that we did. Maybe some of you familiar with spatial. We basically captured a part of the UK, and we grabbed this 3D model and we uploaded it to a space where we were basically even meeting up in there. So we were, and the nice thing was that you can see it's kind of nice 3D model, kind of small, so you can imagine. You know, usually our assets are very big, like gigabyte of data. In this case, we reduced it, we capture it with a scanner, we reduced it under 100 megabyte, and we uploaded into spatial, and it worked pretty well. And then we did some tests also around it, and you could see we literally placed a piece of UK into spatial, where we met up with other people around the globe and had discussion in there. Another thing that we did, this is another test that we did using spatial, was basically at an event. Basically, we during HEXAGON Live, we scanned an area of the Formula One circuit in Italy that is not reachable by people at all. Only pilots could go there. And we offered into one of our booths, basically the possibility to enter in virtual reality. And this is just another use case. You know, you can share things that are not reachable by people, by physically, because maybe are dangerous, maybe it's not possible to go there. But you know, in VR, you can eventually go there, thanks also to the sensor that can scan and capture a specific area of a building, a construction, or an area of a country, for instance. And then I'm going to share with you this other thing. This has been built with the immersive technology, you know, and it's an app that could be found also on Apple or Android. Basically, you can sit in your sofa and enter with your smartphone a chapel, a church in Denmark. Alternative, and see, you know, and read through the history of that church. Alternative, using the same app, you can go directly in Denmark, and you can use the same app in order to see the overlay into the physical church, you know, the same information that you can eventually see sitting on your sofa, but in the physical space. So you can see one technology could serve multiple application like this one. And I think this is the last one I have. I don't know if I have more time, I can also present another use case. What do you think, Erol? We still have?
Yeah, please do it. Yeah.
Let me see,
Yeah,
because just give me one more second. See. Okay. Oops. It dropped. Can you still see my screen?
No.
Okay, one sec, please. Up. Okay. So what I'm trying to show you is how how the technology is also used in the visual production for movies. Can you see again my screen? You should see it or something.
I can't.
No. Okay, let me see. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see now. The third.
It starts with an idea. a vision that will be realized by our director through a timeless craft that brings together many core contributors and departments. A vital creative partner early on is that of the production designer. Along with the cinematographer, they work with the director on establishing the mood and visual concepts. One recent advancement is virtual scouting, exploring a set before it's built or seeing your digital elements composited out in the field. But what if you could bring the location back with you? With LiDAR, millions of points can be captured in minutes to be explored virtually and facilitate asset creation. This brings us to the Virtual Art Department, or VAD. VAD will prep 3D environments for use in previs or on LED screens and is a vital extension of the production designer. Another art department function is set building, where new approaches still use tabletop models, only now you can scale up and virtually walk these designs. This all feeds into visualization, representing action and characters through rigging, animation, and even motion-captured performances and props. Whether digital or not, work flows from here into virtual camera, or VCAM. Anyone can operate the camera in the digital world, blocking shots that editorial can assemble. Based on those shots, the team can use TechViz to practice the shoot before going to set. All departments contribute to a unified filming plan. This helps grips and lighting with equipment and positioning, helps logistics with stunts, effects, and construction, and helps ADs set the most efficient order of operations. No technology can replace the magic of crew synergy on set, but the prep done ahead of time can provide a shooting plan and allow the director and crew to shine. After filming, PostViz can roughly line up photographed elements with CG elements. This is done in tandem with editorial and helps further visualize the shot content and design. VFX completes the magic with final composites, animation, and imagery that could not be photographed. Here, artists also can add to the LED screen content or progress it. Now the visuals are on screen and the director's initial spark has been realized. Stanley Kubrick said that if it can be written or thought, it can be filmed. And with a great crew and a little bit of planning, that's exactly what can be done.
So this is basically interesting about visual production. We worked. I don't know if anybody is familiar with the third floor. They were working with the Marvel, with Avatar development, and so on. So they are very strong into that industry, and the visual scouting for scenes, visual. Creation of environment is kind of very important for them, and yeah, they are still using sensors in order to have collaborative sessions for that. So yeah, I think that was the last slide that I had, and I don't know if there are questions or somebody raised any point for that.
Super. Thank you very much, Luca. I just looked to the participants. There is no question. I think everybody is very happy with your explanation. You didn't leave any place to ask the questions. It's very interesting subject today we had with you. You want to add something more, Luca?
No, I think we are in a very
We are
in a very interesting part. So if any question, I will be able to answer.
No, there is not. Okay. Today, as Istanbul Aydın University Blockchain Academy Blockchain Talks, we had Luca Lupattelli, HEXAGON Systems. He shared his knowledge and information on Metaverse and digital twins. We are very thankful to him for his time and sharing information with us. Thank you, Luca. We hope to see you again in one of our seminars.
Thank you so much to everybody, Erol.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.